April is Safe Digging Month. It's a time to emphasize the importance of calling 811 or visiting Georgia811.com before you dig. It's a simple free service that helps prevent injuries, damage to utility lines, and service interruptions.
We're joined by Georgia 811 spokesperson Cliff Meidl. After surviving a near-fatal electrocution on a construction site, Cliff went on to compete in the Olympics and serve as a U.S. flag bearer. His journey is an incredible reminder of the importance of safe digging practices. So, Cliff, thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having us.
So tell us about what Georgia 811 is and why it's so important.
So basically, Georgia 811, it's a free service. If you do any type of digging, I always like to say if you're going to put shovel into the ground, that's digging.
Right.
So we ask that it's the law actually, that you contact Georgia 811 3 business days before you dig, and you can contact us either through the web or app-based, or you could do the traditional method of just dialing 811 on your telephone, and you will put in a ticket request for whatever type of excavation project that you're doing, whether you're a homeowner or you're a DIYer trying to plant a tree, mailbox, or a fence or anything like that. We ask you to call 3 days before you dig.
Now, your story is wild, for just another word for it. Tell us about your journey to the Olympics after you had this near-fatal construction accident.
Yeah, so I was 20 years of age working on a construction site. I was an apprentice at the time, and I was operating a jackhammer, and I jackhammered into the ground, and I hit 3 power lines with 4,160 volts. So I ended up, electricity is pretty dramatic, and I was burned over 15% of the body, and I had a cardiac arrest, but most of the damage was done to both of my legs, where I had about 1/3 of the knee joint burned away. So that left me with the possibility of having both legs amputated, and my mother went out on a quest and found Dr. Malcolm Lesavoy at UCLA, where he was actually able to save my legs from amputation. Yep, so he took up the calf muscles and put them into my knees. But so then here I was in this predicament where, I was a very athletic kid growing up, kind of mediocre in sports. I did a lot of soccer and running. But I kind of got to that point, when you go through a traumatic experience, you go through those stages of grievance. And my younger brother introduced me to outrigger canoe paddling, which was all upper body and didn't require a whole lot of legs. And that was a perfect bread meets butter for me. So that was my venue to be able to channel some of that, negative energy and fuel as I was getting through that adversity.
That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, what a story for sure. Now, with that being said, what kind of risks are associated with not contacting Georgia 811 before you dig?
Well, there's a lot of risks. I mean, first of all, Georgia 811, our primary concern is to make sure that our communities are safe, right? And so some of the risks are, we don't want to go to the extreme in the incident that happened to me, but some of the risks are, power outages that you can have in the area. You can knock out a lot of power, especially telecommunications. You don't want to hit any gas lines or anything of that nature, but ultimately you can suffer from severe injury, and that's why we really promote how important it is to really develop that awareness of making that contact 3 business days before you do any excavation projects.
We are 6 months on from Hurricane Helene. Obviously, the amount of damage here was pretty severe, which means a lot of people have been digging and doing construction. Cliff, give us some examples of everyday projects that we need to contact Georgia 811 about.
Yeah, that's a perfect question, because a lot of people ask, what do I need to do? Why do I need to contact? When do I need to contact? And so, like I said earlier, the simplest analogy, if you're going to put a shovel into the ground, you have to make that contact 3 business days before. So if you're putting in a new mailbox, if you're planting flowers, if you're putting in a fence, anything that involves digging, we need to be able to identify what utilities may be beneath the ground, because a lot of us, we'll get maybe 3 or 4 different utility bills in the mail every month. But there could be up to 6, 7, or 8 different utilities beneath the ground. It's a very, very simple process. Just delineate the area in white where you're going to want to do your excavation or your dig or your planning. Give us a call 3 business days before you anticipate digging. We contact our member associates, and they will come out and mark the ground. So a lot of us has seen before on the concrete where it has red markings, yellow markings, or orange. Those all have an extreme significance. They all mean something. And what those mean is, like, for example, red is electricity, stay away, right? Yellow is gas, and orange is telecommunication. And then we have some other colors as well. But it's a fun project. We ultimately give you the all clear. It's okay and it's safe for you to dig, and you could go on and do your project in a safe manner.
So basically one call and you handle it all.
One call, we handle it all. Yep.
All right. Okay, but we're running out of time, but we do need to ask you, how was the Olympics?
It was an incredible experience. I mean, you know, I never even thought in my life that I would ever make it to the Olympic Games in anything. And I remember walking down the opening ceremonies here in Atlanta, 200,000 screaming people, you know, chanting USA. And then I got that moment in my mind, hey, wait a second, this is the dream that I had ever since I was a younger kid. And then when I was carrying the flag in Sydney, I mean, I was so honored, and I still am so proud to be an American and represent our country in a you know venue like that is just absolutely amazing. Yeah.
That is so cool.
To come from that photo
Yeah.
to carrying the U.S. flag for the Olympics and competing, that is absolutely amazing.
Yes.
True testament of what you've done here, Cliff. Once again, the information, how can people contact?
Easy, just either pick up the phone, dial 811, wherever you are in Georgia or South Carolina, you can call, or go onto our app or onto the website, georgia811.com.
All right.
Cliff Meidl, great to meet you.
Thank you very
Thanks for being on our
much.
show. We really appreciate it. Good
I
to see
greatly
you.
appreciate it. Thank you very much.